So I wanted to create a new challenge that's called Is My Man a Narcissist? Challenge. Now, I wanted to research and come up with some questions to determine if my partner is a narcissist. So, what I did was I went online, I did some research, and I found some interesting questions that are supposed to determine if you are in a relationship with a narcissist. And then I went and asked my partner these very questions. And I wrote down the answers to share with you guys. That way you could compare with whoever you are trying to figure out whether or not he, she, it is a narcissist. So, the first question to ask yourself about your possible narcissist would be, does he want to impress strangers more than he wants to impress me? And this is something you really need to think about for yourself and really think about it. And if you don't know, then take a few scenarios to observe and start to watch him, how he behaves around you versus how he behaves around his friends. And though people tend to take for granted those who are closest to them and might actually treat others who are not as close a little bit better, or so it may seem, but this is particularly true for the narcissist. He is always going to treat others better than he treats you. You will notice that he might be very angry at you for something, and when one of his friends does the exact same thing, he might not be upset at all with his friend. So that's one thing to ask yourself. Another thing, so I'm going to do questions you can ask yourself first. The next thing is, does he consider himself to be special and different than others? Usually narcissists put themselves on a high horse, okay? They think that they're better than everyone, smarter than everyone, different, and they feel like they can't find anyone else on the planet who is on the same level with them, intellectually, physically, everything. They tend to just over evaluate their own abilities, and they tend to definitely inflate their own capabilities. So one thing you can ask, and hey, a lot of other humans do this as well, but narcissists tend to inflate their own ego. The other thing that you can ask yourself to determine if you are involved with a narcissist is, does he give you the silent treatment? This one is very common of narcissists. When they're upset, they either lash out at you and fight you and won't allow you to get your opinions across, or they will go silent, completely silent on you, not saying anything at all for hours, days, weeks sometimes. They can give you this silent treatment until you go crazy and start to break and give in to whatever they want because they're ignoring you. Now, if you have experience with any narcissist from your past, this is how they treat you, and they're trying to get you to conform to their ideas, their way of life, their way of doing, acting, all that. So pay attention to this. Another question you can ask yourself to find out if you are with a narcissist is, does he react angrily when you disagree with him? Now, if you have any experience at all with these types of people, you know that you can never disagree with them. They're very much into black and white thinking. There's no room for gray of any shade at all. It's either you're right or they're right. If they if you disagree with them on anything, it could be something very, very small, something insignificant. They see it as a personal attack from you against their character. I know it's silly, right? It's almost like dealing with a child. Children, a lot of times, if you tell them they're wrong, they feel like you're telling them their being, they themselves, that they are wrong. They don't understand that there's a difference between their idea could be wrong, their behavior could be wrong, their train of thought, their question, anything. They don't understand that there's a difference between that and you saying that there's something wrong with them. And a narcissist tend to think the same way. If you tell them they're wrong about a certain subject, they see it as you're personally attacking who they are as a person, attacking their core. So they will overreact and try to get you to agree with them. There's no such thing as agreeing to disagree with these people. Oh my gosh, they're exhausting, aren't they? They are so exhausting. They will never ever admit to being wrong, so therefore you are always put in the position of agreeing that you're wrong, even when the writing's on the wall, when the answer is right in front of them. They will still fight you to no end for you to change your mind and agree that they are right. So let's move on to questions you can ask your guy to figure out if he is a narcissist. Number one, always ask about their past relationships. Ask them how they met that person, and more importantly, how did the relationship end? And listen to the answer. If he starts to blame that person at all and put 100% of the blame on that person and take no responsibility in the matter, then you know you're dealing with a narcissist, because no one's all wrong. Even if he was dating a woman who was it's not possible for someone just to be all wrong. Every relationship has two sides to it. It's never just one person solely responsible for everything, unless he was dating a complete narcissist. And in that case, you need to do some more digging. So you ask for specific things that she was wrong about or why it was her fault. So ask him, "Oh, I'm so sorry. She was so terrible. What specifically did she do? Tell me one incident. What was the worst thing she did to you?" And just listen. See if he's the type of guy who likes to fight over small things. If he's the type of guy who will break up with someone because she accidentally used this toothbrush or toothpaste or something like that. Or is he the type of guy who takes people seriously and don't discard them for something small? So you want to find out about his past relationships. Another thing is you talk to him about his mother. You ask him what's his relationship like with his mother. I hate to generalize, but a lot of guys who have mommy issues, they tend to grow up to be narcissists. I don't know why. I'm sure someone probably made a video out there talking about why, but in my experience, someone with either a person who had been coddled by their mother or just ignored by their mother, they tend to grow up to be narcissists. And you could see why on both ends. So ask them, what's your best experience with your mom? Do you have a close relationship with your mom? What was your childhood like? And really, really listen. Listen for the answers. Listen to the red flags, such as, "Oh, I hate her, we get into fights, oh, she was abusive," anything like that. And I'm not saying to completely hold someone's past against them, because people can grow and change, but unfortunately, narcissists cannot change. And once they are a narcissist, they're going to stay that way. So you do want to ask about that. You want to find out what they like. Ask them what kind of things they like to do. And pay attention. See if they're mirroring you. See if they're just naming things that you like. This is especially useful in the beginning of your relationship, because narcissists tend to mirror your actions and mirror your likes so that they can have this fake soulmate thing going on with you, right? So they tend to, if you like horseback riding, they love horseback riding. If you like skydiving, they love skydiving. You get the point. So ask them, what do they like? And then pay attention. also pay attention to their body language. They intentionally mirror you. And I know most people, it's common for people to mirror each other in conversations, but a narcissist will intentionally mirror you because that creates the facade of connection, of soulmate, of likeness, and they know it, so they'll do that. Another thing is find out what's important in life. What's the most important thing in life? Ask and listen. Ask them, have you ever done anything you're not proud of? Tell me about it. Have you ever stolen from someone? Listen to that. Listen if they have, and if someone did commit a petty crime, they stole from someone at some point, that doesn't mean they're a narcissist. But listen, watch them. Look at their facial expressions. Look for those micro expressions where they might be showing pleasure in stealing from others. Look for that, okay? The next thing that you want to ask is, have they ever been unfaithful to a partner in a relationship? This is another thing that's a key giveaway. Yes, we know a lot of people cheat and they don't have to be narcissistic to cheat, but ask them, have you ever been unfaithful in your love relationship? And just sit back and watch. Don't interject. Don't don't say anything. Just listen. And also look for those micro expressions where they might show a slight smile or pleasure, that they took pleasure in what they did to that person. Ask them if they ever hurt someone very deeply in the past, a loved one, and then watch for those micro expressions of happiness. That's a dead giveaway that you're dealing with a narcissist, a psychopath, a sociopath, someone that you should run away from. So always when you're asking these questions, don't get too happy to please someone. Just sit back and keep your cool and read them, watch them. Remember, body language is 80% of communication, something crazy like that. So if we only just get away from just paying attention to the words and read beyond the words, we'll be able to tell. But I do have a follow-up video coming up where I will reveal my second conversation with the psychopath, and I did ask him some specific questions on how he would answer some of these questions that I went over earlier. What would he say, and how to determine if it's a psychopath or not. One thing that he mentioned that I could throw out here is that when you're asking someone who is aware that they are a psychopath, they call them a higher level psychopath. If you're asking someone like that these questions, they are well prepared for it. They know that you're trying to determine that they're crazy or that they're psychotic. So they might give you answers that are not truthful. So in those cases, you want to really ignore the words and look for the micro expressions. Or another suggestion would be, have a drink with them, get loose with them, so they can start telling you the truth. Or maybe confess something of your own that you're not proud of, and then watch how they rebut. Because usually if you say, oh, I cheated on someone back in the day, they might be more open to tell you the truth. They might let their guard down. They might get off the stage and stop acting for a couple minutes to be truthful with you. So you want to be able to determine that. But I'm going to keep this video very short, so I'm going to end it here. But I will follow up with my second conversation with the psychopath, and I will follow up to this video as well. Please comment down below any questions that you want me to ask my psychopath, and I will get answers for you, and I will make videos for you. So feel free to let me know what you have questions on. You can also visit my website at relationshiphorror.com. There you can contact me if you have any questions. If you're going through something and you need someone to talk to, you can reach out. Anyway, have a great day, guys, and keep your eyes open and your ears open. Bye-bye.